Okay, so now it's my great pleasure to introduce our Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Lydia Koss, who's going to give the Dean's welcome.
Thank you, Laura. Good morning for those of you in California, a lot of us here in Riverside. Good afternoon, good evening, probably good night to some of you. I don't know in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Iran, what time it is. I haven't, but I'm super excited to be here and to say hello and welcome to all of you. Just as I'm sure you guys don't really know very well what Vice Provost and Dean of Graduate Studies is. So my job here in Riverside at UC Riverside is to oversee all of graduate education. So all of the graduate programs, except for the professional ones in the medical school, are under our portfolio. And our most important job is to make sure that graduate students are happy and that graduate students are well supported. It's 1 a.m. in Japan. Thank you for staying up until 1 a.m. I said, arigato. I haven't said the buenos dias and all of the other things, but since I don't speak everybody's languages I want, but I do speak Spanish. So our job here in the grad division is to ensure that all graduate students are properly supported from all points of view, financially, your wellness, and make sure that you complete your degree in a timely manner. And that's after you complete your degree. I know you're not thinking about that yet, but you actually get to whatever career you want to. My name is Lydia Koss. I'm originally from Brazil. So I do speak Portuguese, but I've lived for a very long time in Miami, Florida. That's where I came from. So, and if you live in Miami, there's no way out of it. You have to speak Spanish. So I actually just arrived in Riverside. I've been here 2 months. I was at another institution in Miami where I was also overseeing graduate education. And I came to Riverside, to UC Riverside, to help build even more our wonderful grad division. The grad division at UC Riverside, as I told you, is here to support graduate students. We have all kinds of initiatives and programming other than the ones that you are already experiencing, which is to sort of be involved in the recruitment of fantastic potential graduate students like you all, and outreach. We also have a bunch of our colleagues here in the grad division that develop initiatives and programs for graduate student success. So once you join us here, you're going to be hopefully involved in sort of learning how to write. You already know how to write, but learning how to write better. Learning how, or being supported socially. We bring a bunch of people together in social events. So our goal is really to make it so that you feel at home in your graduate program specifically, and also as part of our UC Riverside community. Laura, do I talk a little bit about myself just so that you know? So I'm a biologist. I started doing research as an undergraduate student back in Brazil, and sort of knew already that I wanted to be in academia. I always liked the idea of doing research. I like the idea of working with students. And actually, that's why I ended up in the grad division, because I think what I'm really, really very passionate about is sort of developing students as scholars. And that's what you're going to get once you join one of our graduate programs, is to sort of become a scholar. And we'll do everything we can to get you to becoming a scholar. So I I did my undergrad in Brazil, moved to the US, like some of you there, from Pakistan, Iran, Guatemala, where else? Japan, came to the US for grad school. I came to California for grad school. And as much as I wanted to go back to Brazil, I ended up staying here. The US turns out to be a very sort of attractive place to develop one's scientific career. I did my postdoc. So I finished my PhD, did my postdoc at the National Institutes of Health. So I am a mouse molecular geneticist. So what I do is I develop mouse models that help us understand certain human disorders at the molecular level and at the sort of more general pathological level. And then got sort of very excited about working with graduate students. I've had 100,000 graduate students, I'm exaggerating. Had a lot of graduate students in my lab, helped them. I have a bunch of my students who are now professors at other institutions, and some who are in industry, some who went on to medical school. So I love working with students. I love, sort of helping people grow and find what their career path is. I didn't say so. That's another thing we do in the grad. I know I'm just babbling, but sort of helping you. And some of you probably already know what you want to do next, and that's why you're sort of will apply and are applying to our graduate programs here. But some of you will come in and be exposed to all kinds of new ideas and say, wait a second, I think I wanted to, I don't know, go into industry, but I'm so excited of working with students because you have the opportunity as a grad student to work with undergraduate students. And you might end up loving it and deciding you do want to stay in academia. And we'll help you go through those sort of processes and deciding what you want to do next. Laura, you stop me when I have to stop, when I have to.
No, Lydia, this is fantastic.
All right.
Since if you wanted to talk a little bit about the structure of grad division, maybe if you want to talk a little bit about grad success.
Oh yeah, so that was so I mentioned that one of the things that we really do well here in UC Riverside is it's this, we have a whole set of colleagues in the grad division that are very focused on graduate student success and develop this programming and these activities. And that's beyond what you're going to get in your own graduate program, right? I said, we have over 40 graduate programs, all kinds of fantastic faculty that will help you sort of develop your academics. But we in the grad division are also very focused on developing you as a person, developing you for your future career goals. And that's what Laura was mentioning about grad success. And I said, we have folks here that will help you improve your writing skills. We have folks here who will help you improve your quantitative skills. We have all kinds of workshops to help you learn, for example, R, programming languages that you might need to use in your own degree. Hopefully, Lydia will start implementing sort of workshops on learning how to use AI in your research. So we are very focused, sort of very student-centered, and sort of trying to find out what is important for you to get while you are in your graduate program. You will, during this week, during this next few days, you're going to have the opportunity to meet with your intended program. And I encourage you to ask as many questions as possible, not only about the application itself. Leah is going to be talking about this. There are sessions today about how to apply, but also, what kind of support are you going to get? And by support here, I mean intellectual support what kind of wellness support you're gonna get from your program. How many faculty are there that that you could work with, and what is the process of choosing a faculty member that will become your major advisor, your major professor? So that's one thing that I really, you know, probably one of the most important things for you to become a successful graduate student is identifying the right faculty member or faculty members in the plural that will support your growth. So you have to find, make sure that your program has faculty members, professors, that are carrying out research that you're interested in, right? And always good to have more than one so that you have the flexibility. And some programs will have rotations. I mean, especially in my area of research, you generally go through rotations in different labs and then find the one person that you really feel strongly about, that this is the person I'm going to work with. But make sure that there are a bunch of faculty members in your program that are that have research projects that you are interested in. And I strongly recommend that you start talking to them before and during the process of application, because the more you understand, you know, who you're going to be working with, and if there's going to be alignment between your interest and that professor or professors, always, you know, and my own graduate students, I always encourage them to not only have me as their mentor, but have other folks, other people, other faculty members do, and not necessarily even a faculty member. There are other people in the university, like Laura, like Leah, who can serve as your mentors. You know, we all bring in all kinds of experiences that can support you while you are here as a graduate student. Okay, so we'll leave a bunch of time for questions. You're welcome to, we'll, you know, at the end, we're gonna open up for questions. And it's always good, you might have a question that's of interest to somebody else also. So please do ask questions. I know I've seen, you know, oh my God, there's already 99 messages in the chat. So I'm sure there are lots of questions, and we'll address your questions as much as you can. All right. So I haven't said that, I'm super happy you guys are interested in coming to UCR. I hope you do apply. I hope you do come. And I'll be more than happy to, once you're here, to meet up and sit with you and have some coffee and talk about all kinds of good things. All right, Leah, is it one of either Leah or Laura? We're all the L people here.
Yeah, we're the 3 L's today. So we're gonna Leah's gonna give us a quick guide to how to get the most out of this open house event. So I'm going to turn it off to Leah, but I'm going to be back. I answer questions on the chat. I just put a link in the chat, everybody. It's this great interactive guide to University of California graduate programs. So you go to the degree search and you can choose UC Riverside and your area of interest, and it will take you directly to the website for that program. Because I want to let you know that the program is the best place to get specific information about each program. But I'm going to stop now because I really want Leah, who is really the person who is driving this grad open house, who has made so many incredible innovations to this online event. And I want to give her a chance to talk about this great event that she created. So Leah, thank you. And here she goes.
Always so awkward when there's no applause to transition to the next speaker. But hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining, especially all of you who are up at 1 a.m. I would just watch recordings. So I am props to you for coming and for showing your faces and for joining us today. So just a overview of what you can expect from Open House. For program-specific questions, you want to go to the program info sessions. So all of these, the welcome, the open application walkthrough, all of the grad success and the grad student panels, those are very general. The meat of this event is going to be in your individual program sessions. You'll be able to sit down with faculty, with staff who work in those program sessions. So if you have not registered for a program session, definitely register. Even if you don't know if that's the program that you're 100% interested in, just go and see. The second reason you should register for an academic program session is because the $40 fee discount only gets applied to your account if you attend an academic program session. And that list can be found on our website. And I'll share my screen here in just a second, going over our website and going over the emails you can expect to get and how to access your sessions. But just note that that $40 discount only gets applied for those academic program sessions. So this does not count as one of them, so you will still have to attend one of the individual program sessions. And then speaking to that as well, you have to access the session through your registration summary. So I guess I'll stop talking for 2 seconds and share my screen so I can show you all what this looks like. So as you can see on our open house website, we have the featured sessions, which you're in one right now. And then we also have the academic program sessions here. So all of these qualify for the fee discount. If you go down here, you'll see a bunch of FAQs. I recommend browsing this first. But to get to the fee discount one, you have to get to click on Access Event within your registration summary. So you all should have been receiving emails. You should have received one this morning that looks like this. So it does clarify that, and then it gives you this link. Once you click this link, you should see a registration summary page that looks like this, and it'll have Access Event on all of the events that you've registered for. And it does clarify that these are the featured sessions and these are the academic program sessions. So these are the fee qualifying sessions. You'll also receive a 1-hour reminder email for the individual session that you registered for. And it will look like this. So you can directly access your session here, but you can also just keep this registration summary page. I recommend just bookmarking it, keeping it open, or bookmarking that email that you originally got with this. Mainly because if you really like what you're seeing and you want to go down and see if there are more sessions, it's a little clunky, but there's a long list of all the sessions that we have available. You can explore, so they'll populate here as you click through them. And then here are the featured sessions, and then we have a ton of campus resource sessions offered at 11 a.m. every single day. So I definitely recommend joining that as well. When you go in and you click Access Event, I'll show you on this test session, it'll look like this. And it will say event is in progress. You can join up to 5 minutes before the event. So if it says event has not yet started, just refresh the page once 5 minutes prior to the event comes in. And you will have to click this black connect button right here in order to join. And there's some help text in all of the events as well. All right. Any questions about the process, please drop them in the chat. But again, just to clarify, we do not answer in these sessions the program specific. So I saw a couple about GRE requirements, about Duolingo, about whether or not you're accepting certain cohorts. Those questions are definitely geared towards faculty. So for those who might not know, undergraduate and graduate is a little different. Graduate is very, very personal. The admissions process is very personal. You want to get to know a faculty member. You want to get to know the staff and the coordinators within that program because things are fluctuating, and it's more of an agreement between you and a faculty member that you're going to work very closely on a project for a certain amount of time, and you're hoping to accomplish certain things, and you're outlining those things with faculty members. So versus undergraduate, when you're applying to undergraduate, it's very just a strict list of requirements that you have to meet, that you have to upload these transcripts, you have to take your SATs, your ACTs, whatever, your language tests, you have to meet your prerequisites, and you're good, you apply. But here it's more you're developing a working relationship. And we'll talk more about that in the application walkthrough and the tips and tricks with our graduate admissions. But just keep that in mind when you're attending all of these sessions. All right, let me admit some more people from the waiting room. This is going to be recorded, so if you missed part of it, that's okay. I did want to speak also about our office. So we are the Academic Preparation, Recruitment, and Outreach Office here within Graduate Division. So Graduate Division is segmented into the Dean's Office with Lydia. There's admissions, there's student affairs, there's grad success, and then there's academic prep. So we work a lot with undergraduates, helping them just navigate what graduate school is, demystify graduate school, prepare. So if you ever feel doubtful that you're, prepared to apply for graduate school, please reach out to us. I'm sure Laura has put the email in the chat, but if you can look through there, it's also in your email. I can drop it in the chat. But definitely explore our website as well. We offer templates to email faculty. We have a worksheet that you can fill out on comparing different graduate programs and the pros and cons, and you can stay organized. So that's what our office is here for. We're like the precursor to your graduate application. We're here to help you along the way. If you run into any issues in this open house event, please email us directly at the apro@ucr.edu email if you can't access an event, or if you've lost your registration link, I can always resend it to you. So yeah, just feel free to email and I will respond there. But I'll stop blabbering on now. Anyone have any questions about how this event is run, or technical questions, concerns?
Yeah, everybody, we are trying to answer things in the chat as quickly as possible, but please continue to put your questions in the chat. Anybody have questions right now for Leah about the application fee waivers?
I did see one in the chat. So the fee waiver, it's one per person, not per application. So you want to prioritize the application that you want the fee waiver to go to. So if you really, really, really want to get accepted into one single program, I would use it towards that. We do have other fee waivers you can apply for on our website. So I'd recommend exploring our website, the graduate.ucr.edu website. And there you can apply for some more fee waivers there. The fee discount is available for everyone, international students, domestic students, anyone who attends those academic program sessions. The fee waivers are a little different. I don't quite know the strict, I'm not in charge of those. That is our admissions team. So you can definitely ask more of those questions in the application walkthrough. But I believe they're just for domestic students. However, please note, again, it's a very individual program-based application process. So a lot of times programs offer fee waivers, fee discounts for attending their individual events, or you can reach out to faculty members, you can reach out to staff and say, hey, are there any additional fee discounts, fee waivers available for me, or scholarships that you're giving? Go on, Laura.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, so for this open house, when you attend an academic session, you will have a discount, a fee discount for our UCR application, and it is good for international students. So we do, that is everybody here, everyone, if you attend the academic session, then everyone will receive the discount on their UCR application.
Yes, and
but we want to make sure that we the lots of questions about, I see math and computer science. We want to make sure, I'm trying to put the chat, the link to the chat. We really need you to go to their website for each individual program to find out the specific information for that program, because every program is a little bit different. So we want to make sure that you get the right information. I'm sorry, Leah, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. There isn't a code. I saw that question. It will automatically be applied to your account once you open and submit an application. You will have, and I'll send an email out to all registrants and attendees afterwards explaining this process. But basically, when you open an application and then you hit submit, it'll go to the payment page and it'll show a subtraction of $40 from that application for the fee that you owe, because there are different fees. So we can't just display one general fee, because everyone will owe, not everyone, but there's like 3 different types of fees that you might owe depending on what demographic you are. And so depending on those fees, and you can find those on the graduate admission site, there's like international, depends on the program you're applying to, etc. So you should see the subtraction of $40 automatically applied. If you do not, immediately email us. Don't submit, don't pay until you email us. But yeah, you'll get an email with all of the screenshots showing you what it should look like following the event. And yeah, fee waivers do not expire. So once you use it, that's considered expired. I suppose it's used, but it doesn't expire time-wise. And
Okay,
yes,
so, okay, good. So, so we would like us to spend the rest of the time answering your questions, everybody. So, we're working in the chat. You can also raise your hand. And you know how sometimes it's hard to see your hand on multiple screens, but you can go ahead and raise your hand and we'll also be answering in the chat.
So Laura, I can start. I see Mohit has asked about Duolingo. We still don't accept Duolingo. Hopefully next year we'll be able to do that. But for 24, we're still not accepting Duolingo as a language competency test.
And let's see.
I know I saw one on if you are applying to multiple programs, do you have to submit multiple applications? Yes, so there you will fill out, it's one application portal. So you'll go to grad.ucr.edu/apply, and then it'll ask you which program to submit under program details. So you'll have to reopen a new application, and you'll get a list, you'll get access to a unique summary page showing all of your open applications and what the status is on all of those. But you will have to open that up.
And I see an interesting question from Emma. Was it Emma asking, can you apply to multiple faculty members under one application in the same department? That's a great question, Emma. And I would say that in your statement of purpose, which is one of the two narratives that you will be required, well, it depends on which program, but you may be required to write two narratives. In the statement of purpose, you can mention those 3 faculty members that you would like to work with. They'll also ask you in the application to list the faculty members that you have contacted. So yes, you may talk about more than one faculty member in your statement of purpose. And I would actually encourage that. So Emma, that's a great point, because we want to make sure that that you demonstrate your fit, your alignment in the program. So if you show that you have interest in 3 different faculty members in one department, then that's a great that's a great advantage, and that will let the faculty know that you would fit in a lot of different places in that department.
And I would as I said before, I would strongly recommend that you contact those faculty member. And I think there was a question about the template, email template. And Laura, I don't know that we just write to the faculty member and say, look, your area of research is very interesting. I have this type of experience, or even if you don't have, I've read some of your papers, or I've seen, you know, a talk you gave on YouTube. Can we talk? And, you know, some faculty will respond, some won't. Please do not be discouraged if people don't respond back. Be persistent. Just be persistent. Just keep writing to them. You know, people write to me and say, I'm interested in your research. And sometimes, you know, it's that week that I'm super busy, or 2 weeks go by and I haven't had the time. If the person writes to me again, at some point I say, okay, this person really wants to work with me, and I go ahead and respond. There really I think there was a question about a template. I don't think you need a template. Just write a simple message explaining why, you know, you're interested in working with that person. In fact, it's better. You know, as a faculty member, I generally don't like those very templatey type of emails that I know that student has sent to 100,000 faculty members. Be specific, and be specific as to why that person, that you see that person as a potential mentor, research mentor for you. I think there was a question about applying to the PhD in biomedical science. You don't need to, and again, I think it's the same answer. Write to the people that you feel that, you know, you're interested in working with, let them respond to you and start building a relationship with them. You don't need to really have somebody already in place that you know is going to be your faculty member, but it would be good once admissions decisions are being made that faculty member is going to be talking to the admissions committee and saying, look, I'm really interested in bringing this person into my group. Let's look at this person carefully.
And just to answer, I know we're getting a lot of questions about like TOEFL scores and about comparative literature and other, someone asked if the PhD program that they apply to, will they automatically be considered for master's? Please attend the program sessions. We can't answer any of that because the faculty and the staff decide on all of those requirements in-house. And so again, it's not a one-size-fits-all application process for graduate school. So attend all the program sessions for those questions. I did see one about, is there any problem contacting more than one faculty at the same time? No, there's not. Email multiple, but like Lydia said, personalize them. If you do need help, you can email us and say, hey, I wrote an email. Can you just double check it and make sure that it sounds okay? Because I know the nerves that come with cold emailing people. And so if you just want a second opinion, email us at apro.ucr. and we'll get to you. Are there typically interviews with UCR? So there are for some programs, there aren't for others. Please ask your program individually for that information as well. But the general admission process, no, we don't require interviews. That would be on the program specific with faculty and staff if they do require it.
So there's a question from Ali about, you know, if I haven't contacted a faculty member, will my chances of being offered funding be diminished? So for the majority of the PhD, for all the PhD programs, there is guaranteed funding, and maybe not for 5 years, although I'm pushing for that now, and hopefully for 24, all of the offers that are going to be made to PhDs will have guaranteed funding for between 4 and 5 years. So not having somebody who has fully committed to be your major professor is not going to decrease your chances of getting the TA-ship and the funding here. The funding is mixed as for most places, right? So your funding package is going to come as a combination of a fellowship. So there's going to be a certain amount of time where you're going to be on fellowship, not having to teach, so not having to work. A combination of a teaching assistantship, a fellowship in some fields, especially in engineering and some of the more sort of science, hardcore science, you are going to be funded as a graduate research assistant. So that your funding package is going to be a combination of different types of roles. But I think that, again, it's always advantageous that you have 1, 2, 3 faculty who already know you and want to bring you into the program. But I think that the funding, I mean, as a graduate student, as a research assistant, and that's where it's mostly important, right? Because the faculty that has funding and is interested in working with you will fund you as a graduate research assistant. So again, I'm just encouraging you as much as possible to establish that relationship with 1, 2, 3 faculty members.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody keep the questions coming. If anybody has their hand up, I'm sorry if we haven't seen you. But if your hand up and you actually want to ask your question, go ahead and put your hand up and we'll try to find you in the list. So yeah, so everybody, it is we are here and we're here to answer your questions. But we want to really encourage you to attend the open house session for the specific program that you want to apply for. That's where you're going to get the specific information about the GRE, about letters, about the application process, about deadlines. I know it sounds crazy, but programs set their own deadlines. So the application deadline for computer science may be different from comparative literature, right? And the financial package for sociology or anthropology is may be different from the one for engineering or biology. So we're here to answer your questions, but and we're glad to do it. But I really want to make sure you get the specific information you need, and the way to do that is to contact the programs. So if you can, please go to those program sessions. And I see a hand up. So
Laura, before you talk to Shriyapu, I hope, Anais, all all PhD students will receive guaranteed funding for your tenure in your program. So it's not science specific. What might be slightly different is that it's more common in engineering and STEM related areas that you spend a lot more time doing research assistantships. But in humanities and social science, you might spend more time TAing, but everybody gets a 4 to 5 year funding package.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Lydia.
Sorry, Laura, we can go.
No problem. Yeah, this is great, everybody. I know you have a lot of questions, and we're so happy that you're here. And so I'm sorry, I lost my hand up.
Oh, it was Sri. Now I forgot the name too.
Oh, could you, are you able to take yourself off? Leah, can they take themselves off mute to ask a question?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so go ahead and take yourself off mute, because I think I
have a question. I was the one who had my hand raised. So there are some programs that are not available for this a grad school virtual program. So I'm looking to apply for the ecology program, which is not available here. Is there a probability of it that event coming up later, or so how do I find information about that program?
That's a good question. Sorry, I should have clarified. Not every program participates in our open house. So the fee waiver only applies to those programs that participate in our open house, so that are listed in the program session. Some of them are not active for the current term, so they're not participating. Some others do more in-house recruitment. But that doesn't mean that you're out of luck with the fee discount. Again, a lot of times they do offer fee discounts and fee waivers, but you just have to reach out to their staff and see what events they're doing that qualify for these discounts and these waivers. But I'm pretty sure ecology is doing a session. Let me just pull up the academic program section.
Yeah, here our ecology department has a very long, complicated name. It's evolutionary ecology and organismal biology. Did I say that right? So
yes.
Yes. So Saripo, thank you so much for your hand. And that would be EEOB would be the program for you. So we have a lot of different biology-like programs here at UCR, but they have very specific names. So we have EEOB, we have genetics, genomics, and bioinformatics. We have a lot of them. So please go through the guide and see which program fits your interest as much. So environmental microbiology would be just be microbiology. So you would apply to the microbiology program.
Yeah, Leah put it on the chat, the session for EEOB.
Oh, great. And please, everybody, if you wouldn't mind putting yourself on mute unless you have a question.
My degree.
Okay.
So for the language tests, I would definitely attend our application walkthrough. I know there were a lot of language test questions. So I would attend the walkthrough for the application process. I do know that they're pretty strict on language requirements. I think it's only if it was exclusively taught in English that you attended your undergraduate. There are certain waivers for those. But if it was like a dual language school, I don't believe. But again, that's more for our admissions team. And let me just make sure. So for deferring, again, our admissions team can handle that. Typically, there are options to defer, but that's handled within the programs and admissions. They kind of collaborate and just make those decisions.
Yeah, for the deferral, we do allow deferral, but there's gonna have to be a request from the program and a justification as to why you need the deferral. So it's between your program admissions and then me. But we do allow for deferrals.
And I see in the question about Fulbright, Fulbright grantees, and I'm sorry, Roxana, I don't know. Leah,
Yeah, I don't know either.
but we are gonna find out for you. So, Roxana, we are going to, if you could direct message me, Roxana, Laura McGeehan, with your email, and I'm gonna get back to you. I know who to ask, but I don't know what the question is. I don't know the
Yeah.
answer.
Copy me too, because I want to see,
Yeah.
you know, as I told you guys, I've only been here 2.5 months, and I'm very interested in Fulbrighters. So I would like to see, Laura, how we can facilitate as much as possible, bringing Fulbrighters and supporting
Mhm.
Fulbrighters.
Yeah, Roxana, thank you. So Rox, if you wouldn't mind messaging me, that would be great. And I have we asked so Kabari, you asked my degree program were English instructed programs. Do I still need to take a language test or submit same? So I do think I know the answer to this, but I also want to encourage you go to the application tips and tricks with our admissions manager, Elisa Gutierrez, today and tomorrow from 12 to 1 Pacific Standard Time. My answer is going to be that if your instruction is in English, then you do not have to take the exam. So if your instruction's in English, you do not have to take the exam, but that information has to be on your degree certificate or indicated somewhere. But please come to our application tips and tricks and ask Elisa Gutierrez that question.
Yeah, because I do believe it needs to exclusively be in English. And those did change, I think, recently. So definitely attend the application walkthrough or ask your program as well. They'll be able to give you more information on that as well. And then Shub, I'm not sure if Shub?
Yes, ma'am, is right.
All right. Did you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the session, by the way. Actually, I wanted to ask that I wanted to apply for robotics program in graduate, but it's not there in grad like open house. So, and if I wanted to know the requirements for robotics, so how can I see it?
Yeah, let me pull up.
I would say that I'll let Leah's going to look for you, but it's within engineering. So if you could perhaps attend another engineering session and
So
ask.
which program was it? That Shub was at?
Robotics, ma'am, robotics.
Oh, robotics. Oh, there's a lot of people in robotics. So attend. Amit is trying to think. Yeah, look for the. There's a lot of faculty working. You know, so I don't know that many facts, but I do know a few people who are working in robotics, and they are combination between computer science. Some are in electrical engineering. So I think I would recommend attending a couple of the engineering ones. Yeah.
Actually, I already applied for mechanical, like academic program.
Mechanic. Yeah.
Yes, and I am also doing it, but I wanted to do that in like robotics right now, and I wanted to know, is the GRE required for not for fall 2024, but it's not updated right now.
Yes, yeah, and thank you. sometimes the websites or our staff haven't had a chance to update the websites, but please, if you could, Leah's, I think Leah's still looking.
They're mechanical, yeah.
I put it in the chat who you
Okay.
would contact for robotics, and then I saw one for microbiology as well. So this need help page, here, I'll put it just the general page in the chat right now. It's on our graduate division general website, and it lists all of the program coordinators for all of our different programs. So the faculty advisors, and then if you're a prospective student, you want to go to the program coordinators. They're the ones who help bring students on board and give them the requirements for admission. So I would definitely go to that need help page and just browse who to contact. So for robotics, it looks like there's 3 different people to contact. And that is because, like Lydia said, it's a combination of different departments that offer that program.
So
I see, oh,
go
ahead.
ahead, Leah. I was
No,
gonna say.
I was just going to try to address Brittany's question regarding family housing. Brittany has a question on family housing and how accessible is the daycare or children's learning center. I don't. And Laura, do you have an answer?
I do.
Yes.
My younger daughter went through UCR childcare. So I do know that's, so yes, so number 1, there is graduate student housing, and there's graduate student family housing here at UCR. I want to say that it's very popular. So I want to encourage everybody, if you're interested in both of those things, to please apply as soon as you can and get information as soon as you can. And I think Leah, if Leah's probably already done it because she's so on top of things, but she'll put the housing link on in the chat as well. So yes, we do have grad student housing and we have family housing available, but it is very popular. And we do have a very wonderful child care center here at UCR. It's a teaching center. So that means that it's an amazing place where students and faculty and families are together, trying to find the best curricula for young children. So, and I have to say my baby went through it too. So, yes, so definitely find out. We'll definitely give you information about that as well.
And this has also been a priority for me, and I've already engaged with the person on campus who is working on or who oversees housing. And I guess I'll try as much as I can to increase the availability. And this is an answer to Brittany. And also, I was just having this conversation on Friday with our CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, on really allocating more housing for graduate student families.
All right.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Today, most of the universities decided to just do not require GRE as a requirement for admission to their programs. But University of California at Riverside still consider that. Although there are many literatures that indicate GRE is not a factor and indicator that graduate students is going to have a successful progress toward his degree, toward his or her degree, but your university still have considered that for admission. What is your opinion on that?
So great question. I want to say that that here at UC Riverside, most graduate programs have waived or made the GRE optional, but I have to say there are 1 or 2 programs that are still requiring. I do believe, I'm going to say the computer science master's degree, the best place to find out, but you have to go from program to program. I know it sounds crazy, but each program has the ability to either waive or make optional the GRE. So we really need you guys to go to that program that you want to apply to and find that staff program coordinator that Leah talked about to ask these questions. because you really need that very specific information. But the good news is most programs at
Yes.
UC Riverside are not requiring the GRE. I'd have to say of our 50 graduate programs, I want to say there's only 1 or 2 that are still requiring or making optional. So thank you for the comment. We totally agree that the GRE should not be a part of the application process. But as I said, individual programs get to decide their own application requirements.
Thank you very much for your information. But I think on the department website, I'm talking specifically about Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering. They actually mentioned that they require GRE, but I'm worrying maybe the information is not updated. Maybe it's because it's for past few years, it's not updated. And I'm wondering if I have any chance to apply for that or not. And the second question is that there is a great difference between not requiring GRE and not reviewing it at all.
Yes.
Because if you have it, maybe you can have a plus. That's the difference. So your university is going to just not consider it or not require it.
Yes, I'm sorry, Saeed.
Can
Go ahead, Leah.
Can I we only have 2 more minutes, so I will really encourage you to talk to the program coordinators, because they're the ones who designate the committee who will review your applications. So we're actually we don't stand on the committee at all. So if it were up to me, I would never even look at the GRE. I don't like the GRE. But I definitely recommend going to the programs and just asking them what is the criteria even for admission? Like, what do you weigh heavily? Most of them are just completely phasing out the GRE entirely. But I would definitely, that's more of a question for the committee, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say, I know, and I know we have some hands up, but like Leah said, we only have 2 minutes left. And we do want to give people a chance to transition to your next Zoom. I will stay on this call, and I will continue to answer questions. But I want to make sure that if you have a 10 o'clock Zoom, that you go ahead, especially in academic session, because remember, the academic sessions are where you're going to qualify for that discount fee waiver. So you have our email address here, and that's where Leah and I are to answer your questions. So if you need to jump to a next session, please go there. If you can stay on here, I will stay on with you. But remember to please go to those academic sessions.
And then Eric and James, did you have questions? Eric, I know you raised your hand.
Yeah, I have some questions.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's I would like to start from greeting you and recommending you for a wonderful section. Having a wonderful session. Over here we are in the evening, so I have to say good evening. So trust you are doing good, right? Yeah, I want to ask this $40 discount that to me, I think, is there no way that we can get an application fee waiver for an international student like us? Yeah. Is there another way we can apply for an application waiver, like a student who is willing to displace his to depict his academic financial imbalance or financial bankruptcy? Is there any way that such a student, probably coming with a statement from the financial aid officer from our undergraduate university, is there any way we can get an application fee waiver? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. I think Leah, if you need to jump to the next session, go ahead. I can stay on and answer questions. But Eric, I have to say that we understand that the application fee is high, and we understand that it is a barrier to many students. I want to encourage you to email us at my email address that I put in the chat, apro@ucr.edu, to talk more about it. I think that you could also contact the department that you're applying to and inquire if that department has fee waivers for students. So that would be another way for you to get that fee waiver. And I thank you for bringing up the point, because we do acknowledge that the application fee waiver is high and that it is a barrier to many students.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Eric. Thank you for asking questions. And James, did you want to go ahead and ask a question?
I'm Eric.
Thank
I'm
you very
Eric.
much. I'm satisfied with your answer. I will reach out to you. I've seen your mail. I will reach out to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, I
Eric.
think, yes, go ahead, Eric.
Yes, I wanted to know if you have a PhD program in assessment or psychometrics or measurement
Oh,
for the PhD level.
there
Go ahead.
will be faculty, I think there will be faculty in School of Education. I think, Eric, I would probably look into the PhD in the School of Education, because I know faculty there who do work on assessment. So I think that would be your best bet, right? Or there might be people, and I don't know, but there might be people in psychology. But I think education would probably be where you would start from.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Eric.
Right.
And yeah, so Eric, go ahead and look for the School of Education virtual session, and then people there can ask your specific questions.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Eric. Aidan Rashid. Go ahead and answer. Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening. Over here, it's also evening. Thank you very much for the well-structured virtual showcase. My question is it necessary for every potential grad student to mail a potential professor, I mean PI, that will have to, I mean, what I'm trying to say is it necessary for every graduate student to message a professor that is a potential supervisor to him or her?
I would say yes, sir. Please do. It is necessary for you to email faculty to talk about your interest, and how they align with that faculty member's interest. You should email them first. You should try to even ask for an informational Zoom if that's possible. In your statement of purpose, you should also talk about the faculty and your shared interests. And then when you actually are filling out the application will ask you, who have you contacted here at UCR? So that means that before you fill out the application, you should be emailing faculty and conversing with them online.
Thank you very much.
Lydia, did you want to add anything?
No, that's it. I mean, it's not a requirement, but I think it's to your benefit, right? Ayedun, I can't say I pronounce it right. I think it's really to your benefit. I mean, and this is in general, right? If you're going to join a graduate program, you do want to know who is there for you to work with, and does your research that you want to do. Are there faculty who are doing that kind of research, and are the faculty that are doing the research the type of person that you would like to work with? So I spend a lot of time before I bring people into my own group, into my lab. I do spend a lot of time talking to them over WhatsApp, over Zoom, just to make sure that, because I think, as I mentioned before, is this relationship between you and your mentor or your research advisor that is going to be probably the most important sort of aspect of your success in your graduate program. So it's not a requirement, but I think I really, really encourage and highly recommend it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And just to oh yes, I will give you the for specific information. So someone's asking me if the GRE is required for a PhD in computer science. I really need you to go to the website. I need you to attend the virtual session, because the virtual session will tell you, you can ask people directly, or go to the website. So for program-specific information like deadlines, GRE, application, we really need you to go to the website. We need you to go to the virtual sessions today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. That's the best place to get that specific information. We are here in Grad Division, and so we have over 50 graduate programs. So we want to make sure that you get that one-on-one information, those tips and tricks that are specific for each program. And that's the best way for you to create a competitive application. So please go to those individual websites. Like exact for application opening for math. Please go to the math virtual session. The advisor there her name is Margarita Roman, and she would be so happy to see you in her virtual session. Okay. I think maybe we can, so I want to encourage everybody, this session officially ended at 10. So we want to make sure that you are not missing an important academic session right now. So if there is another session, they probably started at 10. So if you want to join an academic session to get that specific information, please jump to that session. Our email here, I'm going to put it back in the chat, where you can get a hold of me and Leah and ask those questions, and we'd love to help you, is in the chat. So Eric, do you have another question? Hi, Eric, your hand's up. I didn't know if you had, is that an old hand or is that a new question?
Yes, it's an old hand, sorry.
No problem. Yeah, everybody does it.
All right. So don't forget to join our campus resource session at 11. I'm going to close this meeting down so I can prepare for that because it's the same Zoom link. But again, don't save this Zoom link. Access it through the access session on your registration portal. So it'll be marked as attended. But go and attend your academic program sessions to get your fee discounts and all your questions answered. And let us know if you have any problems or any issues or concerns or questions.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I see, hi, a beautiful cat. Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Actually scared. Thank you, and I hope I'll see you in 2024.
Okay, everybody, please go to our graduate division